Welcome back. Thank you so much. John Fedro here with Vince out of Illinois. Vince, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you again for being here. You are an active mobile home investor. You've been now investing in mobile homes with us for about, I want to say a year, maybe a little bit less.
I started April of 2014,
Okay.
but I actually started taking action after I got back from a vacation in Greece that kind of changed my life. And yeah, I came back and then I kind of like actually started like, working on it. So
That's great. Now, actually, let's pause right there. Why did that trip to Greece change your life? You can't just leave us
yeah,
kind of
it's
pepper that in. Is that a secret? Is that
no, no,
what
no, no.
happens in
It's
Greece stays in Greece?
um, here's the thing. I work quite a few hours. I'm a pharmacist. Yeah, so long hours, and that was my first vacation in about 2 years. And yeah, I kind of realized that I'm kind of a cash flow guy. Like I like to cash flow gives you certain type of security, lifestyle, and I have an uncle who's really wealthy in Europe, and he owns he's a consultant. He owns his own business, but and he actually recently sold his business. He made about $10 million of 10 million euros of profit. But even at his level, he's still worried about cash flow. So in the end, it doesn't matter how much money you have. What really affects your quality of life is the amount of money that comes in at the first of every month. Period. And the security with which it comes in. So that's yeah,
So that was really just hammered home, or you got a big impression of that
yeah,
this trip? Wow.
yeah,
The cash flow plus the not having a break for 2.5 years, and on top of that, and then I know you signed up right before that.
yeah,
So, wow. So, and then when you did get back, so that actually explains a lot now. This is the first I'm hearing of that. That
yeah.
explains that if that was the catalyst, that fire under your butt when you first got started. I mean, taking no prisoners. Um, so explain what actually before that, what got you excited about mobile homes um, before that even that trip even happened.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, low cost of entry. Low cost of entry. Low cost of entry, low risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, things of that nature. And really, when you look at it, the way that you teach it, if I were a park, okay, and I had my own lot, okay, and I was collecting $500 a month from via lot rent, okay, to get that money in, I would have to buy the park, have all the expensive headaches of the tenants and all that stuff, right?
Right.
The profit that I'm making $300 per home, I don't have any of those headaches.
You almost have a built-in manager. Is the
Exactly, exactly, and almost have a built-in manager, and somebody who gives you deals. If you build a good relationship
Of
with them.
course. Right.
So
Okay.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Did you no, I just did you have experience when you first came and sort of stepped into mobile home? No real estate
No,
experience. Okay.
no real estate.
The so when you first got started, I can't remember exactly how quickly your first deal you found it, but I do remember, and maybe you can shed some light. Actually, I'm probably sure you know exactly when you did it, but I do remember that the way that we sort of the pushing the snowball down the hill and it just compounds and compounds. It
Mhm.
was you went from I think zero to like three or
Yeah.
five in a very short period of time, and then more. So, when was your first deal after you first got started?
Okay. So when I first got started, it was April the 8th, I believe,
Okay.
and I actually I did a lot of work, but I did it in the wrong area.
Okay.
I did it in an area where the lot rents were too high. Okay, so I wasted some time there, but I realized that for the model that you teach to work, the numbers have to make sense.
Right.
So I wasted, I think, a good month or two in one area, and then I stopped doing it for another 2 months. And then right before I went to Greece, I had a guy. I went to Greece in about August timeframe, July, August timeframe. Right before I went there, I had a guy hammer out 70 signs in another area that I focused my attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and whilst I was in Greece, I was looking at my e-voice, and I saw people leaving messages. Okay, and I got excited, like, oh, people are leaving messages, and then so once I got back, I think my first deal was in September, and then September, and then two in October, one in November, December, and then November, December, January. Yeah. So I closed 7 deals.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
now with this,
And then I stopped. By the way, then I stopped. I have not done any marketing
okay.
for sellers ever since, because the winter was coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of risk averse. I wanted to make sure this actually worked.
Yep.
And I got 7 deals out of that, 2 of which I'm still sitting on, but it's all good. And the other ones, they're cash flowing. So yeah.
I'd like to bring up a point that when you were wasting your time, which it wasn't wasting your time because you know that area. Now, should we have moved to other areas? And again, you're not just getting clear on your own county, but the surrounding counties. So you didn't have, besides gas money, I suppose, you didn't have to spend, you didn't risk any money, or you didn't lose any money on those
Just
first
time.
2 months, just time. But then you gain that experience, you know that area now. So the area that you are in, so you found your deals mainly with signs. You're now in bed with a few park managers, and you're, so to speak, and you're doing what you say you're doing in those parks. They like you, they trust you. The deals, you're on number 7 now. The 5 of them have sold. Are most of them 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, a mix?
So I've also realized this. 2 bedrooms are a little harder to sell, especially when you're doing selling them on a note.
Sure.
So going forward, I will only deal with 3 bedrooms, especially in that area.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second. Oops.
Sure.
Sorry.
No worries. And I'd like to explain for folks watching.
Yeah.
Now, were you trying to give yourself an earring? What?
No. I cut myself. And it won't stop bleeding. So.
Okay. Well, you're the pharmacist, so you should know what to prescribe yourself. The 5 deals you have, the 2 that you're sitting on. Talk about the 5, and I suppose the first question I have is so you're now looking to go to 3s. That's unique for your area. I think around the country, 3 bedrooms are more popular than 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms definitely serve a need, so they're still very valuable. We do purchase them more conservatively, and that's sort of the thing to take with you. A seller that has a timeline and needs to sell or wants to sell, they still can have a decent 2-bedroom property. So just make sure, and I know that you already know this, but even when you're talking to every seller, we should always be making offers to sellers. We can always have more sellers in our pipeline. And if you're already holding on to those 2 homes, that actually gives you the confidence to say, with sincerity, we're already holding on to properties. Currently, right now, this is what we can do. And you can completely mean it. You can be ultra conservative. And that's perfectly fine. If the seller can sell for more, we can help them. We want them to. But if not, we're even in a better situation. So if the seller does come back and want to do the deal, again, we're jumping up and down. So it's better than we would have offered before, and that's because we have the confidence we're already dealing with two deals. The 5 that you did sell, what's the typical from when you put the first ad in the paper to sell this home? How long does it take? How many weeks or days does it take? Or rather, foot traffic to walk through before someone is liking your properties? And are these properties mostly sold as is with repairs needed, or are they fixed up?
Okay.
Question.
Two-part question. So let's talk about the time frame. Okay. So given that it was all these deals I basically got in October, November, December, mostly actually November, December time frame. They took about a month and a half to 2 months to sell.
Okay.
Okay, so it took a little while, but no repairs, as is.
Okay.
And yeah, if you want, I can share some of those numbers with you.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so let's start with the worst deal. Okay,
All right, let's get started.
the worst deal. I paid 31 for it. Okay, and
3,100.
3100. It was a three-bedroom, two-bath, 1940. No, 19. No, no, 1994. Sorry, 19, not 1940. 19, that would be scary. 1994. I forget the model, but basically, I had to hold on to that for. I just sold that, so I bought that one in. I had to hold on to that for about, I think, 4 months. So I lost some. I lost money. I lost a little bit of money there,
Okay.
but I will make my money back. I got $2,000 down. I will make my money back in exactly 13 months. Okay, so that was not the best deal. However, it gets better. Okay. So that was the ugly duckling, so to
So
speak.
that was so you making your money back. So 4 months to sell, which actually 4 months to sell is, let's talk about that bad deal because that is to a lot of investors 4 months. Hey, that's just the market. But really, the deals we should be selling and the terms that we should be selling should just be like a no-brainer, slap
Yeah.
aside the head. If anybody's looking to buy and own or live in a mobile home, they should be calling you. So I'm curious on the 4 months why that was. Was it a park issue? Were people getting denied? Was it just the home, the time of the year, foot traffic?
Okay, so this is the reason why. I had three other homes in that park.
Okay.
Okay, two of them are double wides, and one of them was just gorgeous. Okay, so when people walk through that, they would say, "I'll take that one. I'll
cool.
take that one. I'll take that one," and I don't want that one because that's the ugliest one. So that was the ugly duckling.
Okay, I
Okay.
understand now.
All right, and so yeah, it was, and there were three of them. Yeah, like two of them were double wides, and one of them was just gorgeous. And I think showed you pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's the reason why. The other homes took a while to sell too. I said month and a half. So by the time they got to this one, all the other ones had to go before this one could
Of
go.
course. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes. I mean, and so you're making your money back in 13 months, and then you have another. Did you sell that one for a 60-month payment?
That was total was 5 years. Yeah,
So okay, so you have another after the 13 months, another almost
yeah,
4 years of cash flow,
4 years of gravy. Yep,
and your typical net is about 300.
300 in that area. It is all 300.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good. That's what we should be shooting for. The so okay, so that was the ugly one.
that
The
was
the numbers on a good-looking one, because you've actually, and this is something just to note, after you do a handful of deals in one area in one park, you get your numbers down. The time of the year changes a little bit, but you get your numbers down. So so you're getting more and more honed in your area.
yeah.
What are your goals for the rest of this year? It's only just the first quarter,
Okay.
early into the first quarter. What are your summer goals for this year?
Okay. So the goals are to sell those two
Yep.
as quickly as possible, and then get 7 more deals this year, at least 7 to 10. Yeah.
Let me ask you two questions. The homes that we're selling, they're always, I mean, they're quality products.
Yes.
Solid roof, walls, appliances, good-looking home. It's going to stay there for another 10, 20, 30 years. However someone takes care of it. And then the other side of that, when we're dealing with our sellers, the people we're buying from, and then also the buyers, tenant buyers who we sell to, everyone, how does everyone react? I know in my closings, everyone's happy, thankful,
Absolutely.
and very eager to move forward.
Absolutely. That was one of the biggest surprises that people see. If it was not a deal, then people wouldn't do it, right? It's just that it wasn't a deal to me. I wouldn't live there, right? That I was judging somebody else's taste, so to speak.
Okay.
But people jump on these things like yeah, absolutely, yeah, they love this stuff. Yeah, I've had somebody in tears, and they were very happy to do the deal, and yeah, that gives you a good feeling too, right? Yeah,
That's amazing. Was that a buyer or a seller?
it was a buyer.
Wonderful. Oh, that's
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, of the 5 that you have, granted they've only been there, well, filled for maybe 6 months or less. Any any issues with that? Any headaches? Any, you put your good people in, they're on
Mm.
time, you don't get calls, any trouble there?
Yeah. So one home we had some issues with. I think I talked to you about that. The water heater it was not functioning properly,
Hmm.
so we had that replaced. And actually, he paid me back.
Great. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, that's something that we can always do, and that's something that we're certainly not a bank, so we do have some flexibility. As long
Mhm.
as, I mean, anyone you put in your home, you're starting a long-term relation with them, four,
Exactly.
five, 6, 7, 8+ years. So someone in my home, if they can't, if they've been paying for any number of months, 6 months or more, and I know them, I like them, we as investors can decide, do
Hmm.
I want to help them repair? Do I want to give them a loan for the repairs and then they can pay me back? Do I want to front them this cost or split it with them? But definitely not just leave them hanging. I mean, these are people that are in
Yeah.
your home, and we have I think, a duty as
Hmm.
investors to not just sell them something and then maybe hope for them to default or hope for them to get into a problem, but just to actually see them through the entire process. Oh, you didn't know how to
Yep.
pay taxes? Well, here you go. And let me explain this to you. Let me help you this. Oh, here's a problem. Let's fix it together. Um, yeah, they're not just sort of getting a home. They're sort of, I like to, whenever I put somebody in a home, they're the ones that hopefully will stay there forever. So,
Yep. And
wonderful.
you really have to look at it as a almost like a business relationship. So just like the amount of thought you would put into picking a business partner, well, not as much maybe, but just think about it that way because he's basically partnering with you, and he's going to be paying off your notes. So
Really well put. Yeah, absolutely. What sort of advice, you've been in this 10 months, what
yeah.
advice would you give someone just on the fence, looking at mobile homes?
Oh, absolutely. Um,
Best advice
it's
ever. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's so the risk that you're taking, the risk profile is so low, and the rewards are it's yeah, you're making three-quarters of what the park makes. $300 when you compare it to $500. It's three-quarters of what the park makes, but you don't have any of those expenses.
Thank you so much again for being here and
Hey,
sharing those deals with us.
absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah, anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, for anybody who's like, anybody who has a job who's not satisfied with their returns of investments in the stock market or whatnot, you really need to look at this stuff. Just do not do it in my area. um, I'm from an undisclosed location,
That's right.
but
But
yeah,
oh, that's okay. Well, that was
yeah,
perfect advice. It works only. That's right. So only this advice that you gave, Vince, only works in your area.
yeah. Because
Everyone
I,
else disregard
yeah,
this.
because when I go to parties now, I kind of tell people what I'm doing, but not as in much detail.
Good.
And I just like to hear my friends who some of them are consultants. They act like, oh, they'll talk about the Facebook stock and how, oh, the value to earnings ratio is skewed, and oh, I'm going to short it, and I'm like, you know what, you keep doing that. That's awesome. Just keep doing that, and I will keep doing this thing. I'll see you in Greece.
I love it. That's great. That's excellent. Perfect. Wow. I mean, that's it. It took me. It's so weird the things that get us to this point. You have to realize about first overcoming a career or a job, a professional job, which you've, and I'm always impressed and admired by folks that have family life, which you do, which have work. You have a 40-hour, full-time job, and then you invest in mobile homes as well. So you already had a full plate, and you're just
Yeah.
adding more to it. So you have to have that burning desire. And then, out of all things, to look at mobile homes. I mean, I think we're an interesting group of people.
Exactly. So a lot of people will, and I still talk, when I talk to some of my family about this, they turn their noses up. I'm like, you know what? Keep doing that because it is because of the fact that people turn their noses up that I get such good deals. Because nobody else will look. I have no competition.
You're right. Vince, thank you so much again for being here.
Absolutely.
That
Thank
means a lot.
you.
Excellent. All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you again.
Take care. Bye.